Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. So interesting. We get together with people and find many times that they provide very unique services, just helping others. And I've got somebody, we all love our pets, and she supports our animals in the pretty much the central Tennessee area. This is I've never heard of this before. I'm not even going to explain. I'm going to let her do it. Her name is Fran. Her company is Franimals Solutions, and she is with us today. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Steve. How are you?
Very well, very well. So you provide essentially mobile medical services for animals. Broadly, do I have that right?
Yes, that's very close. It's just a diagnostic tool.
Gotcha. And when we say diagnostics, you're doing imaging?
That's right. I have my own equipment, my own ultrasound, and I come to your family vet clinic. Your family veterinarian orders this service, and I come there and perform the image capture. And then, yes, that imaging gets sent to a specialist. I work very closely with an internist, Dr. Larson with Music City Pet Internal Medicine Solutions. We've worked together a very long time. So we built this kind of collaborative care. So I'm actually collaborating with your regular veterinarian and trying to find out why maybe that there's a lab abnormality, or maybe they felt a mass when they were doing a physical exam and they want to further investigate something. Or sometimes, Fluffy doesn't feel well. And no matter what your general practitioner can do, sometimes they just need a little more help and some guidance. And so that's what we offer together. Wow.
Does the average veterinary clinic not do this type of imaging on a regular basis?
That's a very good question. And I think that's something that's changing right now in veterinary medicine. But ultrasound really is tricky. It's complicated. And a lot of times I hear that really it just looks like a lot of gray and black, just blob. So it takes a lot of training and practicing, like training your eyes to catch certain things, training your muscle memory in your arm and your hand to find certain things. It's time consuming. So a lot of general practitioners, they are juggling a lot of different things every day. They're seeing your regular appointment to do vaccines. They're doing a euthanasia in another room. They're doing surgeries, walk-ins, things like that, as well as all the paperwork that goes along with that.
Yes.
And so I have just gotten specialized training and a lot of experience just focused on internal medicine and ultrasound that I just want to take that stress away. But at the same time, I'm doing comprehensive ultrasound. General practitioners, they can do what's called a fast scan, where they're taking a peek-see to see if this is an emergency, or is this something we can schedule with Franimals on another day. There's still a lot of training, I think, still that needs to happen to get veterinarians more comfortable with it and more confident. And that's something, too, that Dr. Larson and I are talking about. We want to mentor and teach other veterinarians and vet technicians like me to do these kinds of, get this special skill set.
I love this idea. And even having had ultrasound for a minor shoulder issue about a year ago, even on the human side, you go to a imaging place because the doctor's not doing it, and not taking anything away from staff, but a lot of times the tech that is looking is just doing it. They don't really know what they're looking at. It's got to be reviewed by somebody else, maybe somebody else. It sounds like you know what you're looking at. So if you think you see, a shadow here, you're going in for the kill, if you will. Like you're gonna look deeper to make sure that I want to see if it's not that type of approach, then somebody might miss something.
That's right. Yeah, I do. So as a technician, it's kind of like being a human ultrasound tech where I can't tell you really, I can't diagnose anything.
Right.
I have to work within the scope of practice. Um, but yes, I do tend to give my professional opinion just because I've seen so many abnormal findings in the, maybe it's been about 4.5 years cumulatively that I've worked in internal medicine and ultrasound and running endoscopy. I just love it. I geek out about it. And being also autistic, I have this obsession almost because it's my special interest. So I seek out more and more and more. I just can't,
Wow.
I can't learn enough. So I'll go back and I read the reports. I practice my ultrasound techniques. I make sure that I'm pretty good at it so that when the vet says, okay, what did you find? What did you think? I can actually give them at least a little bit of information so that they can decide if they want to like send home some medications with your pet that day, or maybe give you some insight or some peace of mind to know that maybe I didn't see what they thought I was going to see, or sometimes they just have to wait for the report because yeah, the doctor needs to look at that imaging. Similar
Wow.
to taking an x-ray, like the technician takes the x-ray, but the doctor looks at it and determines what's going on.
It's almost like you're like Fran CSI, like a crime scene investigator. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna find everything. You're hunting it down.
Yeah, it's true. And I love it. Like clinical pathology too. So yeah, we are the seekers and the figure out what's going on.
Mm. Why do you think more people don't do this? Is the first I've ever heard of this. Why do you
Yeah.
think more aren't doing it?
I don't know. I think that there are actually a lot of services that offer mobile ultrasound to your vet. They means we're like the silent, right? We come in, take the pictures, and we give your vet the report and the support they need, and then we duck out.
Uh,
So you
but your vet has to make the recommendation. They have to say, I'm going to bring somebody in. Um,
yeah.
let's go through logistics. So
Okay.
you bring your vehicle to the vet's office, and you do it all inside your vehicle.
No, I actually bring my stuff in.
Wow. Okay.
It's on wheels. It looks like luggage. And I just come on in and set up in an exam room, or sometimes I'm set up in their treatment area.
Wow. Fran, what got you interested in this? Where did it begin? Was it just a love of animals? Was it a love of medical? The blending of the two?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I always had a almost etheric connection with animals ever since I was really young. I just instantly would bond and have a relationship with our pets. I should have known that I was going to be in vet med back then, but I didn't. I was just busy trying to be a rock star. So I guess I was just a late bloomer, but I did have an experience with my own cat, bringing him to emergency.
Mm.
And the staff, the veterinarian, everybody was so wanting to, they cared about my cat like I cared about my cat, and wanted to help my cat like I wanted to help my cat. And so that experience just made me wonder, okay, if I'm not going to make it in music, what do I love as much as I love music? It's animals. So I thought I was going to be a vet. I went to pre-vet school and I was getting good grades, which was, unexpected. I thought, I wasn't sure if I was going to be good at it because it's very much chemistry and biology and all of that, but I loved it. And then when I got my first job at a vet clinic, I gained a lot of mentors there, and like Dr. Ramos, Dr. Henry, Dr. Kilbane, shout out to Epperson Veterinary Clinic, because I learned so much there. One of the staff members, she was a vet assistant and she was studying it to be a technician. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I pivoted at that time and went to vet tech school, and I just loved it. I just loved it. I don't know. It became very easy And so I felt like I was just on the right path because I didn't have to force it. It just
Wow.
happened.
Wow. It seems like it just felt right.
Yeah, it was fated to be.
It was fate. Oh, like fate. Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Wow.
yes.
Wow. What are some of the things that you've discovered showing up at the vet's office? They ask for imagery. Now, some examples, even with last year or something that really stands out, like, well, this was not known. You found it, and then they took care of it.
Oh, goodness. Well, I get a lot of, I guess actually recently there is a decent story that I have. We did an endoscopy on a cat. We did an upper GI. So I was working with Dr. Larson. We partner very closely together to do these procedures. And when I was inducing the cat to put him under anesthesia, we noticed he had something going on in his mouth. And this is a cat that wasn't eating very well. It wasn't a happy cat at the vet. So I'm sure it was difficult to get a good look at the back of his mouth. But yeah, that was a finding that was really unexpected. I guess that doesn't have to do very much with ultrasound.
What did that turn out to be?
Actually, we are still waiting on biopsy results. We took some biopsies of it, and and then we send those off to a lab to get analyzed. So we don't know yet.
Give us an example why the vet would call you or why you would be called in.
Yeah, there's a lot of good indications for abdominal ultrasound and echocardiogram. For echoes, if you hear a murmur, your vet's probably going to recommend an echocardiogram just to evaluate and see if there's heart disease. But not all heart problems have a murmur. So sometimes it'll be an abnormal lab result or even just a little bit of a cough. And I'll come in and maybe they'll recommend an echo. Abdominal ultrasound, it's really variable. Probably the most common reason I get called in for that is abnormal lab work or your pet doesn't feel good. A lot of times it's like GI symptoms. But there's a lot of good reasons to do abdominal ultrasound. Like if your pet has chronic illness, it might be good to just evaluate from time to time to be sure there's not anything else going on.
So crazy question. I want to know, EKG, dog or cat, where do they put the electrodes? Like if you have an EKG, if you're a human, I got that. How do they do that?
We have clips. It's like a little, almost like an alligator clip. There's more gentler ones, but it's a little metal clip and it depends how many leads you have. Usually there's 3 or 4 and they clip in their armpit and they can clip like just above their knees and you got to douse them with alcohol to get them to work because their fur gets in the way sometimes.
Wow. And usually can that be done without any kind of sedation?
Yes, an electrocardiogram can be done without any sedation. It probably would be best not to use sedation for that. But when I do an echocardiogram, that's something different. An echocardiogram is an actual ultrasound of the heart. And your pet has to, for abdominal ultrasound as well, they have to be in a vulnerable position. And for echoes, they really have to be still because I have to point the probe at a valve. And if you can imagine, a cat's heart is roughly the size of a walnut.
Wow.
So I have to point the probe at these teeny tiny little windows and I have to hold it there while I have a remote sonographer actually signs into my machine and remotely gets all the imaging for me, which is an amazing service. It improves the quality of the result. Like the outcomes are a lot better with that. So, and it gives me a hand to maybe put on the pet because they have to be really, really still. So sometimes we will give them a little bit of
like a Xanax, like a half a Xanax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I take a Valium before I go to the dentist. That's for sure.
Okay, there you go. And they call that conscious sedation.
Yeah,
Conscious
exactly.
sedation. Yeah. So
Yeah,
EKG, we have echocardiogram, which is what you do, and then we have EKG electrocardiogram. Am I getting that right?
I don't know what they call it in human medicine. I think they both mean the same thing, which is an electrical, um, like electrocardiogram. It's an electrical pattern
And
of the
that's where the
impulses of your
leads.
heart.
That's the leads. And,
That's the leads.
and then the imaging, that is known as a fill in the blank.
Echocardiogram.
Echo. Yes.
I
Okay.
know.
Because I would think echo, you're sending out sound waves and you're waiting for them to come back. They're echoing, and that's how you see the imagery.
That's exactly right. That's how ultrasound operates. That's how we see the imaging. It's a sound wave that goes out and it bounces off of the structure that I'm looking at. Exactly.
Wow.
Yep.
This is fascinating. Like it's so cool.
Yeah.
What I do love, and having experienced the vet's office, doctors, and all that. Um,
Right.
Not to take anything away, but this is your specialty. You're hyper focused on doing what you're doing, and to your point, which you made earlier, the typical any medical office, they got tons of stuff going on, so maybe they can't 100% focus on what's going on the task that needs to get done. So, just what a great idea! Wow, how long you been doing this, friend?
I launched my business June 2023, so it's been a year and a half on my own. But I did kind of a work study before that, before I got kicked out of the nest. So
Wow, fascinating, fascinating. What would you like to? I've learned that people who do these types of things, different types of services, could even be metaphysical, could be holistic, whatever, have a thirst to learn more. Like you're just like, what else can I learn? What else can I find out? Is there anything floating out there that you would like to maybe focus or learn?
well, we're kind of focusing on work right now, so I'm going to see how that shakes out. But I am a healing touch for animals practitioner, and
Okay.
it's a little kooky nanny when I talk about it. It's energy healing
Oh, don't I'm right on that
for
page.
animals.
I do a bazillion podcasts on just what you're talking about, whether
Yeah,
it's Reiki, chakra balancing, whatever it might be, for sure.
right. Exactly. It's very similar. It and so I'm a certified or I'm sorry, I'm not certified yet, but that is the goal. That's what I would like to do. And then maybe offer that, maybe find a space someplace close to home and offer that just to whoever is interested. There's not a lot of evidentiary support behind this kind of and this energy healing, but I feel like the proof is in the pudding. Like animals, I don't feel have a placebo effect. They don't know what I'm doing or that I'm trying to help them in some way. So when I see a result of, putting my hands on them or clearing their chakras or doing the pendulum work, when I actually see the result, I'm like, I need to share this with the world because animals behavior, fear, anxiety, and stress, I am certified in that. I'm fear-free certified. So I know a lot about that in the traditional sense as well as energetic sense. And so I kind of combine all of that in my work, and I want to, share that. I think more people need to know about this.
Well, I'm gratified that more and more people are finally open to more out there. Like there's, this whole stuff that we talk about, energy healing, they've been doing that for centuries, centuries.
Yeah.
Acupuncture, like,
Right.
and ask 100 people, have you ever had acupuncture? You may get lucky and hear three, but that's been around for centuries.
Yeah.
And that's how people healed themselves back in the day. That
Yes,
was their
exactly.
medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the Egyptians believed that each chakra is directly related to some part of your lymphatic system or your endocrine system, exocrine system. And so if one's out of line, it really affects the way your body functions. But I mean, if you wanted to put it even the super simplest physiologic effect of any of this is relaxation. And everybody should know. I think we all agree that stress is a health hazard. Like, it's just not good.
Well, yeah, for decades, we've all heard that, stress kills. And yes, I mean, It is really the number one thing that beats on your body. And it could take years, but you'll see the effects of it. You'll see the effects of it. So let's go back to but what happens, it, Fran, you go to the doctor, you have a symptom of the stress, or inflammation within your body. They throw you some pills. They take care of the symptom. They don't go to the root cause, which is so important. And I view that in what you do as well. If they don't call you in, Bruno the cat has an issue, and they'll give the cat some meds without really looking what is actually causing this. And you have to elevate it. You can't just put a stethoscope on it and you're going to get the answer. There's got to be more. So super cool in what you do. Wow.
Thanks.
How do we learn more about you have a website, right?
I do. That's probably the best way to find all my contact information. There's a link to my Facebook page, a link to my Instagram. My website is franimalssolutions.com. Yes, there's 2 S's together. And you can learn all about me, all my services. I'm trying to add maybe a photo gallery. My credentials are on there. You can look at all my credentials. I'm fully transparent.
Wow. And the website, I'm seeing, there's a picture of you doing your thing with what looks like a cat. Seeing it from a distance. Yeah, but like super cool. You are a rock star.
Oh, thanks. I'm trying.
You're a rock star in many different areas. Super cool. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing what you do. And it's the middle Tennessee, essentially the middle area of Tennessee.
Yep, Middle Tennessee. That's correct.
Where's your accent?
Where's I'm sorry?
Your southern accent.
I'm actually from Cleveland, Ohio.
I figured that. I don't hear anything. Wonderful having you on here, Fran. Thank you so much, and happy holidays to you and your family.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
We're coming right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.